Hello and welcome. My name is Rachel Coletta, and in today's video, I am going to be talking to you guys all about talking to trees or connecting to tree wisdom. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I'm really excited to share with you guys some of the energy and the understanding that I've gleaned about trees, as well as give you guys some tips about how you can connect yourself and start to see what comes through for you. I would also like to thank you guys so much for your patience. I've been on a bit of a hiatus here over the past month and a half while I've been getting moved and getting settled into a new routine. But I am so excited to be back. I've got so many videos that I can't wait to share with you guys in the coming weeks. So thank you again so much for your patience. Let's go ahead and dive into this tree info today. I thought that it would be great to share this info with you guys while I am here in the beautiful Coconino National Forest, completely surrounded by trees. I've been in heaven connecting with these trees over the last couple of weeks, and I really hope that this information helps you guys to have some really beautiful and meaningful connections with the trees around you as well. So to begin, I wanted to talk to you guys about the general energy of trees. Trees have this very wise, deeply loving and nurturing energy. And they also have, don't mistake the wisdom for seriousness, because they also seem to have this really amazing sense of humor or a slight mischievousness. Some trees that I've connected with have this very kind of more old, ancient energy, and they have this sort of mischievousness, sort of like a grandfather. And then there's been some other trees that I've connected with that have this more youthful, buzzing, sort of light, playful energy, and sometimes a literal laugh out loud sense of humor. And this isn't dependent upon the tree's actual age. Sometimes there are those generalisms where an older tree has that sort of older energy, but that's not always the case. So it's a great idea to release expectation and not impose your direct physical observations onto the energy of a tree before you've really given yourself the time and space to connect. Trees are also amazing record keepers, amazing holders of information about the land and its history. So there is so much information that we can learn through connecting with trees' energy. They have so much that they like to share with us. And a lot of trees have been around for quite some time. They've seen a lot, and they have the ability to communicate with you the energy of other time periods, the direct information of other time periods that can really help us in our remembering and really help to broaden our perspectives of our world and our earth in general. Trees are also amazing anchors of energy, which makes sense. We talk about being rooted and being anchored, and obviously trees are kind of the poster child imagery that we use for rooting. And it's because trees are rooted. They're amazing anchors of energy. They're really great at just holding this clear, firm, powerful space for you. Trees can also have different undercurrents of sort of energy in how they identify, or the type of energy that they connect with. We often think of trees as being part of the elemental kingdom. We think of trees and fairies and unicorns and gnomes and elves, and absolutely, trees are definitely an aspect of the elemental sector of energy when we are talking about mysticism. But again, I find that can be kind of limiting if we just put them in that box. I've also had beautiful experiences connecting with trees that had a much more cosmic energy. And I've also connected with trees that have had this really beautiful ancestral or, energy, this ancient wisdom and ancestral energy as well. And there's many other varieties of energy that a tree can bring through or can be a part of its predominant vibration. So this is definitely an invitation to broaden your perspective and see what other things come through for you when you're connecting with trees besides just elemental energies. So we know that trees make oxygen and literally make life on Earth possible. If we pull back sort of the superficialness of that explanation and energetically look a little bit deeper, what I've found is that trees are really great, gentle cleansers and purifiers of energy, but with this strong rooted, powerful energy. So they really are great at helping you in a soothing, gentle way cleanse and purify and release and align with your highest light, but also while holding this just strong, firm, rooted, powerful space for you to do that. So it's sort of interesting. It's kind of like the concept of the gentle giant, whether the tree itself is large or not. They have this sort of giant, powerful energy, but this extreme softness and gentleness that interweaves with that as well, that I find incredibly beautiful and relaxing. They're very healing and supportive, very stable. So trees are great to connect with. If there's something that you're looking to heal or release in your life, they will help you beautifully with that healing and releasing, and also just hold a really safe, contained space for you during your process. Trees literally speak in light. They transmute sunlight, but they talk to you and they talk to each other through light. They can reflect your light back to you so that you can better understand the beauty of your soul and your gifts. They can be amazing awakeners. I had this really beautiful experience with a tree that I became quite close to that was next to a place I lived for several years, and I meditated under her very, very frequently. And when I was first getting to know her and meeting her, I had this really beautiful experience where she basically telepathically showed me my aura, my light, what I looked like to her. And that was the first time that I had ever seen my aura or seen a really, I guess, like external representation of my light or what I looked like to other light beings. And it was such an amazing, powerful, beautiful experience to me. And trees are also natural alchemists. So we talk about trees like making oxygen, about trees transmuting sunlight. They are natural alchemists, natural transmuters and clearers of energy. So again, so powerful to work with trees, yet very calming and non-agitating to your system. And as you can see in this example I just shared with you, trees love to communicate telepathically and empathically as well. So regardless of how you receive intuitive information, if you receive more images, if you're more clairvoyant, if you receive sounds, if you're more auditory, there's this feeling when you are connecting with and exchanging energy with a tree, that there's this piercing clarity with the way that they telepathically share their information. And if you're clairsentient, if you're somebody who identifies as an empath, and you really start practicing connecting with trees, they also love to give you the most beautiful, peaceful, loving, just warm sensations that they will communicate into your body that can open up your expectations or your ideas about what is possible to experience from a state of feeling. So that is their primary ways that they love to communicate, and they're such powerful, clear communicators. It just takes maybe a little bit of practice and also maybe a little bit of realizing how those messages might come through for you. Also, I've had several trees show this to me in meditation, but trees have their roots create this almost like spider web, like web of golden light energy underneath the Earth's crust, underneath the Earth's surface. And this energy is for many purposes. They use it to communicate with other trees, even vast distances, through this sort of multi-dimensional spider web of golden energy under the Earth. They use this golden energy, this transmutation from the sunlight that comes down and out their roots through this spider web to help uplift and bring their peaceful, loving, clear and powerful energy, infuse it into our Mother Earth, into an experience that's available for us humans here on Earth as well. So yes, they can communicate through this web with other trees, even vast distances. And this also means that if you have a particular tree that you've become really adept at communicating with, or really adept at feeling into its energy, you can also use this network or the telepathic nature of trees' communication to communicate and receive messages from a tree, even if you are nowhere near that tree. Okay, so trees are also like antennas, which makes a lot of sense if you think about even just, the shape of a tree, of this long, thin structure going up into the sky, up to a point, and all of these little tendrils of these branches coming off of the tree, and then the root system going out and down. It's positioned. It makes sense that it looks like and it acts like an antenna. And so trees actually, part of their purpose that they do as well is they bring cosmic energy from the cosmos, from the stars, down, and they anchor it down into Earth and send that information and send that energy out through this golden network of light via their root system. And then the opposite is also true, where they also bring Earth energy and energy signatures that relay to the cosmos, where Gaia herself is at, where humanity is at, and share our experiences out with the stars. So trees are such beautiful cosmic transmitters that, and some of them really have this gateway to immense cosmic knowledge. It's not just data coming up and down, but there's this vast cosmic knowledge there, which I talked about earlier with the different varieties of energy you can connect to and connecting with trees. If you're someone who really enjoys connecting with the stars and the cosmos, which is certainly me, and I'm sure many other people watching this channel, trees are an amazing ally to connecting with that energy, and realize whether or not that pulls you or not, that is part of their purpose, and that is definitely part of the energy that they are bringing down. And then that also works in reverse, that they're sending that earth energy back up and out. Earth vortices and portals are often protected, held, and channeled by trees as well, almost sort of like guardians. And I mean, obviously this is not true for every single vortice and portal on Earth, but there are many portals and vortices that are held and sort of guarded or gate kept by trees. And you can kind of think about this if you think about, if any of you have ever done any practicing or working with shamanic journeying, a visualization that is frequently used in shamanic journeying is at the beginning of the journey, you go through a doorway or a hole in a tree, or you go down into the tree roots, and you get pulled off or taken off along a journey through other realms. That there's no accident that these journeys are using the vehicle of the tree as sort of this portal or vortice. It's because this is actually the case with many vortices and portals, is that they are held and nurtured and guarded by trees. And these trees, there's a few telltale signs that can help you recognize this. If a tree is holding a particularly powerful portal or vortice, but this is not universally true, and every tree that holds these signs may not be holding a portal or vortice. I'm just giving you guys a few things that you can check for or look for to help you either, confirm an intuitive hunch or at least get you started on the trail. But these trees are often either particularly large and commanding, so that could be physically large, or there could just be something about their energy that feels very commanding. And they grow in a twisted or a spiral due to a twisted shape or a spiral due to the vortex energy. I've seen a lot of this in Sedona with the juniper trees, that when they're holding or guarding vortices, they grow sort of in a twisted shape. And I've seen this with other trees that have definitely been guardians of vortices as well. Other signs can include large, knotty, visible root systems. Sometimes those indicate a vortice or a portal that a tree is holding. Large holes or gateways in the trunk of a tree can also signify that. But again, this list is not mutually exclusive. There are definitely other signs, and if you connect with a tree and you feel, you see, you hear this energy, then trust that that is true. All right, so lastly, I am going to go over my tips with how to connect to trees so that you guys can start experimenting with this and finding your own messages, connections, and working with this beautiful energy in the way that feels best to you. So first tip would be to take a walk and notice which trees you feel pulled to. And when you notice a tree that you feel pulled to, you want to feel into the energy of the various aspects of the tree. Meaning, if you can feel or see any of the roots, feel into the energy of the roots. Spend a minute and gaze at the trunk of the tree. Feel into the energy of the trunk. Then go up the tree and feel into the energy of the foliage, of the leaves up at the very, very top. It's really surprising to me how different the energies of trees feel as you cascade up the tree. You can pick up a lot of completely different things from gazing or feeling into the energy of the top of a tree versus the roots and the trunk towards the bottom. So just get in a practice of checking those different aspects of the trees and noticing what you pick up on. Touch the trees with your palm chakras. Your palm chakras are like superpower sensory organs for picking up energy. And trees are very tactile. Like they're begging to be touched. They love being touched. So touch trees, hug trees. Oh, I love hugging trees. Touch your third eye to trees. There's been times where I've been able to touch my brow chakra to a tree and almost been completely pulled inside the tree and taken sort of through a portal or a vortice or taken through the energy of that tree, and it's been really beautiful and powerful. When you hug trees, you put your heart chakra, which is one of our strongest, chakra sensory organs, so to speak. Our heart is actually one of our strongest sensory organs as well, with so many neuro connections. And so when you put your heart chakra next to trees by hugging them, this also increases your sort of sensory bandwidth about what you can pick up on. Walk around the tree and notice what you appreciate about it. So what do you notice? What catches your eye? What do you love? What's unique? Is there a part of it that looks like it has a face on it, that looks like it's smiling? How do the branches move? How do the leaves grow out of the branches? Sometimes like there's these really cool little curly cues, or the leaves will twist around. They'll pinch in, when it gets, when the sunlight goes away, and then open up when the sunlight comes out. And just noticing what you appreciate and what is there helps you pick up on the energy that is being transmitted or that is available to you. So next step would be to go a little deeper, to get a meditation blanket or mat and actually sit down underneath the tree. You can sit either facing the tree or with your back to the trunk. Sometimes with the back to the trunk, that feels very supportive and safe, where sitting facing the tree feels more open and can feel a little bit more vulnerable if you're not really practiced or experienced with connecting with this energy. But whatever feels really good to you is going to be the best way to do that. So sit underneath the tree and just do some really basic meditation without really, trying to connect with the tree or trying to get any strong messages, just relaxing into the energy of the space that tree is holding. And then when you feel comfortable and like you've been able to relax into that space, you can let out your roots. Meaning we all have a Earth Star chakra, so a chakra that's outside of body, located about 12 inches underneath the earth or underneath your feet. And so you can use this chakra to open up your own root system and let your roots go down into the ground and sort of like mingle and play with the roots of the trees and see what you notice. If over time, as you feel even more comfortable, and for me personally, I like to ask for permission from the tree before I do this, but you might be able to find that you can even connect your roots into this spider web of golden light of the tree roots all around you and find some really interesting information and some really interesting energy that comes through that way. I'll leave that kind of open-ended so you guys can see what your experience is. And when you're doing that as well, you're connecting to the roots and connecting to that web of light. You can also pick up really interesting information about the land around you that the tree would like to show you. And so also a great thing to remember, I forgot to mention about the Earth Star chakra, is that you are an inherent part of this golden web of light. You have this chakra that is located, 12 inches, a foot underneath your feet. And as you walk and as you go through, your day to day, you have this sensory aspect of your system, of your energetic system, that is underneath the ground and is mingling with these energies. So you are an inherent part of this. Your simple attention to it and knowledge of it strengthens it. So you don't really have to try to do much if you're just aware of it and let it do what it naturally wants to do. That energy in your soul, your earth star chakra, then you might just find that it kind of naturally connects and that information naturally starts coming through to you without your effort. Yeah, so when you get to that point where some of that energy starts flowing or you're able to connect in that way, another really fun thing that you can do is you can also start channeling the energy with trees. So if you're somebody who's an innate channeler or is a healer and enjoys, bringing light energy down to the earth and spreading that out, using it to heal, to clear, to cleanse, you can work with trees and you can sort of collaborate and co-create your own energy healings in the land and around the earth around these trees, even sending it far and wide. So that's really beautiful and really fun to experiment with if you feel pulled as well. Yes. So this is hopefully quite obvious, but I wanted to say it anyways. Trees are centers for and havens of life. So it's so important when you're connecting with trees that you be so respectful of the trees, plants, animals, insects around the trees and that are calling the trees home. If you're really going to start connecting with tree energy and spending a lot of time under and around trees, you're also going to get really familiar with ants and spiders and flies and all kinds of other things that might be calling the tree or that little ecosystem home. And it's really important to be kind and be respectful of that when you're connecting with the trees and you're coming into that nature space. And lastly, I wanted to mention that many trees have been around in, these forests for, well, a really long time. Some are decades, hundreds of years old, and you would be surprised at how much the energetic climate on Earth can shift in even just a couple decades. So these trees have been around, and even if they're a younger tree who wasn't actually present at a distant time period in the past, but they are a seedling through an ancestral chain of trees that carry that DNA and carry that remembering. The tree itself doesn't have to necessarily be incredibly old to hold that knowledge, but these trees have been around during times where there was magic, where magic was the norm and the energetic climate here on Earth was completely different. And it is so whimsical and fun and just, I don't know, just eye-opening, just like third eye opening to have this opportunity to connect with trees. They can show you these time periods where there was magic in the air, there was magic oozing out of the ground, and all of the people that lived in the area or that called that area home had a certain connection to that magic, and they can help you reconnect to a lot of really beautiful magic from transporting you to a time when that energetic climate was commonplace. So that's another really cool thing that can come through when you connect with trees, and that's something to just be open to and be aware of as you start connecting and meditating with trees. So I hope that this information has been helpful for you guys. Please comment below. Let me know about your experiences connecting with trees. What have they been like? What has come through for you? Thanks so much for being here with me today. I can't wait to hear about your experiences. All of my love. Until next time, bye.